back to my channel. This is Kat here, and I am working on writing a children's book. And yesterday, if you saw on social media, I announced a launch date. It will be in January of 2018, and it is less than a month away, and so, oh my gosh, I have a lot of work to do. But I'm excited for you guys to read the book, finally, for it to be out in the world instead of just on my computer. I've been heads down trying to work on my book, trying to finish it, and so I just wanted to catch you guys up on everything that has happened in the last 2 months or so, with the biggest news being the fact that I created my own business. It feels so weird to say that. Yeah, it just feels weird. To start off with, my business is called One Curious Cat. Literally, I was on a double date, and then I was just asking my friend and her boyfriend, I was like, what do you guys think? Because the two front runners for the names was One Curious Cat and One Creative Cat, and then they just said they picked one, and that was the name I went with. I added the one in front of it because, I don't know, I just thought it had a nice ring to it. I can also abbreviate it now as OCK. So first off, why did I create a business? Well, I'm doing this full time, and I want to continue working on it full time, writing more books and just building the business, and I don't know, whatever else the future will take me to. And so it's not just a hobby, and so I wanted to make it official and kind of get the processes in place so that I could scale, maybe add people to the team in the future, but these are all far off dreams. The other more practical reason was because I chose Ingram Spark as the print-on-demand service that I will be using. You either say that you're the publisher or you say that a business is the publisher. So what a lot of authors do if they use Ingram Spark is that they form their own LLC business. That's just them, and then they just publish the book themselves. So in my book, basically, in very small font on the copyright page, it'll say published by my company. And it just makes it easier for me to publish more books, and then if I want to publish other people's works, I can do that too. So yeah, it's good for the long haul, I guess. Anyways, I decided I wanted to create a business, but then I had no idea how to go about creating a business. And I tried to ask people around me, or I looked online, and I don't know, there's just so much information out there. I think I was really intimidated for sure by the legal aspects of starting a business, because I didn't even know what type of business I wanted to start. There's different types, sole proprietorship, LLC, partnership, and corporation. I had no idea what the difference was. I went to a couple of workshops on legal information for startups at a law firm, and then that was kind of helpful. And all the lingo was way over my head, and I was like, I don't know this word, I don't know this word, I don't know this word either. But I slowly got used to it, and then ultimately what I did was I just searched for a lawyer. I asked people, I was like, do you know any lawyers? And no one knew any lawyers. But anyways, I did some Yelp searching, and then I was like, okay, I found someone, and then the reviews were pretty good. Yeah, so I thought she was really good at answering questions, and then I decided to work with her to do the initial documents for my business. So ultimately I decided to go with a limited liability company, which is basically probably the easiest form of creating a business, but also still having some protection, some liability protection, like your own assets, personal assets are separate from the business. I don't even know if what I'm saying is correct. But anyways, I decided to go with an LLC, and together the lawyer asked me a bunch of questions. I created an operating agreement where I had to make a bunch of decisions. And again, that was really hard too, because she was asking me decisions about what happens if your business closes down, or what happens if another member joins. And I was like, I have no idea. I can't even think that far ahead. I don't know what would be the right answer or not. But I mean, I asked for her suggestions, and somehow we got through it, got the document form. She helped me register it with the Secretary of State. She helped me get an employee identification number, which is kind of what the IRS uses to identify the business. So it's kind of like a social security number for a person, but an EIN is for a business. Even working with a lawyer, there were still certain aspects of finishing setting everything up that I had to do on my own, and it was very confusing. Sometimes there would be these catch-22s or these loops. It's I want to open a bank account, and so person there was like, oh, once you finish all the other paperwork, like come and we'll set up the bank account. But then like I couldn't finish certain steps of the process without having a bank account. So it's like really complicated dependencies on each other. And then like I had to like print out certain forms and send them to the Secretary of State. And it's like, well, I don't have a printer that works because the printer I have just like will print one page and then we'll run out of ink. So it's like, don't buy the Epson printers. Anyways, or the one that I have, it's just like not good. And so I had to like first find out which printer to buy. And so I was asking my boyfriend about that, and then we buy that, and then I print out my papers, and then I can mail them, and then like all these forms that I need to fill out. It's like you get to some like one little field, and they ask you for some random thing like what, like a resale number, and I'm like, what is that? And then you have to go research what that is. So yeah, it was complicated, but ultimately I ended up like filing the paperwork I needed. I registered with the city, and I think when you register for the city, you have to pay some more fees, and then all this money just goes out the door paying these random fees to set up this stuff. But that's not the end of it, because then like once you've formed everything, then you also like need to make sure your bookkeeping is all good and stuff. So I asked for recommendations for accountants, and then I talked to some people, and then ultimately I decided on someone, and then I literally grilled this person for like 3 hours straight with like all the questions I had. I realized that I needed to keep better track of my expenses. You know, my receipts were kind of like all over the place. I had a box for them for all my business receipts at the beginning of the year, and then suddenly it became filled with like grocery receipts and clothes receipts. So yeah, I had to like sort through all of that and then make sure that I have everything itemized. So yeah, having really good record keeping is important for business, and just knowing where the money's going, because it's so easy to just spend money on things that you think would be nice and then realize that you might not need. One of the biggest culprits for me is just spending so much money on classes, because I'm like, oh, well, I need to learn this, I need to learn how to run a business, I need to learn how to use this software and stuff like that. And so it's really easy for me to get carried away with all that stuff, instead of like being like, okay, I need to actually spend time creating stuff for the actual product, like the book. So it's been a tough balance. I think there have been definitely really exciting moments. I opened up a business bank account, I got a business credit card, and then like I got the credit card in the mail, it had my name on it, and then I had my business name, and it was just like, oh, it's like real. And then when I got my city business license in the mail too, it comes on this like official like piece of paper with like the city seal on it or whatever logo. And I'm like, oh, I should frame this, but I don't know. There's a women entrepreneurs organization as well that I joined, and so it's been really cool to just meet other people who are doing it, and it's just making it seem more attainable to me. Like, hey, you know, this person can do it, so can I. And it's interesting to be able to identify with them and to be like, oh yeah, like this is something that I struggle with. I feel like the biggest lesson has been to give me like a new sense of responsibility and like ownership over my life, because I'm responsible for like my business now, the decisions that are made, and even when I don't have all the right information and I don't know what certain things mean, like I'm still responsible for how it turns out. And so it's no longer okay to be like, well, I didn't know, so it's fine. Like, no, because there's penalties, like for not paying your taxes or not paying certain fees. And so now there's like real, like serious consequences for not knowing certain things. So it's like my job to know what I don't know, in a sense. And it's scary at first, because there was so many things I didn't know, and I still don't know so many things, but like having the help of a lawyer and an accountant can kind of be like, do I need to worry about this or not? And then as I build out my network of other entrepreneurs, I can ask them like for advice as well. So it's becoming a lot more manageable, I think. But yeah, it's just a lot of taking responsibility for my life, I guess. But yeah, with that ownership comes like pride, because like I have a business now, and I think in a way it kind of makes people, I don't know if it changes other people's perceptions of you, but I feel like it might give off the signal like, hey, you know, I'm serious about this. I'm not just doing this willy-nilly or like gonna start it and stop it. Like, no, I'm serious. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna try to like make this sustainable. It's been a good journey of growth. I feel like I've learned so much. and I'm excited to tell you guys more about what has been happening in the actual book. So stay tuned for more videos on that. If you like this video where I was rambling about how hard it is to start a business, you can hit the like button and also subscribe to follow along. If you guys are interested, I do post more often on Instagram, so you can follow me there. So yes, thank you so much for your support. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. I'm so excited for the future. You don't understand, like all these things that I had in my mind, like, ooh, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. I'm like, they're actually happening.